Saturday morning, and we're just leaving Cohiba for Tuamotus.
Should have about 4 days to get to Tuamotus, 500 miles. I hope we have a safe and an enjoyable trip. It didn't start very nice with all the choppy coming out of the bay with the waves and the wind around the nose. But now we are out of it, so things are up.
It's about 6:45 on our way between the Marquesas and Tuamotus. First day out, so last 24 hours will be 120 miles. Had a really nice sail, and it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day today. Sun's just coming up, nice sky, trade-wind clouds. Still have double reef in our mainsail. It's kind of windy last night, and just steered better like that with a double reef and the boat headsails up. And so when Julius wakes up, I take him out. But right now we're still doing 5.7 knots, so that's good. Yes, it looks like I was right. The morning was beautiful, and the day is turning out to be a good sailing day. The wind is steady and a little aft of the beam. The sun is shining, and we don't see any squalls on the horizon. In this area, squally days are quite common, so when we get a nice sailing day, it's a real bonus. We're running with a double reef mainsail, Yankee jib, and our staysail, which makes the sailing very comfortable and allows me to be able to cook up something good in my galley.
So here is my first mate Susie. She's being a baker today. So let's see what she's doing.
So after dissolving my yeast, water, and sugar mixture, it takes about a little more than 5 minutes of stirring it. And that's 1 cup. Then I take some more lukewarm water, another cup. Make sure your hands are clean when you're doing this as well. Okay, so I have 2 cups of water, my flour, my salt, yeast. Get it ready here. I usually get myself a nice comfortable place to sit. Any place works as long as you can put the bowl between your legs. And then you start working the flour together here. Mixing all the loose flour. Usually it takes me about 5 minutes, so it's really not that big of a job. Okay, my dough here that I made about an hour and 15 minutes ago. It's already nearly double. If you're going to make a loaf right away, you can punch it down, make it into a loaf, and bake it right away. But I'm going to make mine later, so what I'll do is I'll just punch it down, deflate it a little bit. And people may not know this, but you can actually keep your dough in your refrigerator if you have one for up to 2 or 3 days, and just cut off a piece of whatever you want, how much dough you want for your loaf, and then you can make it into a loaf and use it at will. So I'm going to put mine in the refrigerator now. I usually just take a little grocery bag, put it in the bag, and I'll stick it in the refrigerator, and then I will be baking it later. So when I do that, I'll let you know what happens. I just took the dough out of the refrigerator. As you can see, it still rises a little bit in the refrigerator. I wet a knife, and I usually make the 2 loaves. The whole thing is a little bit too big for me in my oven. A little flour in my hands. Take half the bread. I make a little round loaf, but you can make a baguette or any kind of shape that you really want. I cover it with a little towel. So it's going to rise here now for maybe 20 minutes. And while it's rising, I have my oven, which is another ingenious little thing here that my husband Julius invented, because he wants me to keep him in fresh bread. So I make it on the stove top because we have this Dickinson diesel oven, and it gets very hot. It's totally unpractical to use in the South Pacific because it's just too hot. So I have a stovetop oven that Julius made for me, and what it consists of is this heavy cast iron pot. I'm going to show you how it looks. We should turn this off for now, I guess. Heavy cast iron pot, and Inside, it's got a ring, stainless steel. It's got little screws in it. It's tapped to hold it off the bottom. So you've got to have something that holds your pan off the bottom of the pot, basically. It doesn't burn. And then I have a aluminum ring, keeps the heat. And then I put my pan in there. You can oil it a little bit if you like. As the stove is preheating, your bread is rising. And the pan is getting hot that you put the bread in, so it goes into a nice hot pan. And there's one more thing. If it's rough, which at sea it usually is, you have to use something to hold the top on, this little dome. He drilled holes. You can't really see them, but there's holes here. And I put screws in here, like so. And this dome fits exactly over the top of my thing, so the screws go inside like that and it holds it in place. See? Ingenious. Now you let that preheat, and then when the bread is risen enough, I'm going to put it in there and we're going to bake it. And it usually takes about 35 to 40 minutes if your oven's properly hot enough. And the most important thing is your oven does have to be hot. Alright, we've got the finished product coming out now. My bread is done. Remember, it's all hot. I forgot to mention that I have to turn my little loaf over so the top gets nice and brown, and it kind of takes away from the overall effect because it's got a little flat top, but it doesn't take away from the taste. Okay. There's my little loaf. You can make a bigger one if you like with a whole bread recipe, or two like that. And I think it's going to be pretty good. Julius loves my bread, so.
He's a fine chef, Susie. Signing off.
When you're making an ocean passage, it's rare to see another sailboat nearby, but when you're in a popular cruising area, it's rather common and an enjoyable sight to see. Okay, 6:30 a.m. Sun's just coming up here. We're a couple hundred miles from the Tuamotus, and it's very squally looking sky out this morning. Now we've got squalls all around us. Nice line squall there. Got a double reef mainsail and our staysail out right now, and we're doing about 5 knots, and we're just kind of waiting for something to hit, because usually when there's squalls all around, the day is very unsettled and you don't have a very steady wind.
We had a half a night.
Yeah. What happened last night?
Half a night we had to do with the squalls.
Yeah.
Anything, running before they.
We love these kind of days, huh? Or nights. It always happens at night too. Well, at least now we can see what's happening, right?
Yes. Yeah, very beautiful.
Alright. It's almost 8 o'clock in the morning, and there's squalls all around us, like I said earlier. And here's another nice big one right here. Look at that.
Which prevents us taking the reefs out on our sail.
Yeah.
Because it pack a lot of wind in it.
That's not very nice looking. Yep. Beautiful, huh? On the way to the Tuamotus. Hope it's going to get a little bit nicer before we get there. I don't want to get hit by one of these walls when we're going through the pass. So we're still a couple miles out from the pass, and we should be arriving as planned right at slack tide. which is very important as the currents through the passes into these lagoons can be quite strong, and there are dangerous coral reefs there. He's sitting in the cockpit. The sun's behind him, so you can't really see that good, but he's been up almost all night. We had a really kind of rough night last night, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be looking forward to getting into the lagoon, maybe taking a little nap. Same with me, I'm kind of tired too. I only got like 45 minutes, but 45 minutes is better than nothing.
We had 2 hours to kill, so you could get there to a pass in a slack tide. So using a staysail, we're slowly sailing downwind towards the pass.
We're just coming up upon the pass entry to the lagoon. It's right there, a little break in the reef, and we're going to be whizzing through there right now. Hopefully the currents are not strong and we picked the right time, which I think we did. And pretty soon we're going to be in calm waters. So right now out here is really kind of rolly. We got the seas on our beam. We got to take our sails down, and we're going in. Here we just got inside the lagoon in Ahi, and it's a very big lagoon, and it's very windy. While the approaching sailboat, which is heading towards the pass, is having a nice downwind sail, we ended up having to take down our sails as we had the wind coming straight out of the pass. The lagoon here is very large and appears to be a good place to sail, but in reality it's not that great because of all the coral heads dotting the area. You really need to stick to the small channel. Really nice breeze coming out of here. Really got a good sail. Nice. Listen to this wind blowing. It gives you some idea of how the large lagoons here in the Tuamotus have their own little weather systems. While on the outside of the lagoon, we had about 15 knots. Inside it was blowing 25 to 30, and it blew like that every afternoon that we were here. Luckily the wind was blowing from the direction of the reef, which we anchored behind. It provided us with protection from any kind of chop that built up. So aside from the wind howling, we had a very peaceful anchorage there. Okay guys, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please don't forget to leave a comment and a thumb up. We love hearing from all of you. And before we leave, we'd like to thank all of you that support our channel through Patreon and PayPal. We really appreciate your support, guys, and we will see you all next time. Bye-bye.